Hello, welcome to BB Outdoors. To start off the 2023 season, me and my dad had the first week of season off, which is October 1st through the 7th. We decided to head up to Michigan's Upper Peninsula and try our luck up there and have a little fun camping. Well, it's October 2nd. We're just set up camp. We're up here in the Upper Peninsula. There's me. There's Fonzie. Up here coming up to hunt deer. Got the whole week. Today's Monday, so we're probably going to either take off Friday or Saturday morning. Should be due pretty good. Found a bunch of good deer sign. Two things. We're in a place in the UP where we can actually shoot does, so expect us to shoot a doe. And then on top of that too is because we're in the UP, we can bait with the 2 gallons spread across a 10 by 10 foot area. We can't do that up here in the Upper Peninsula, so expect us to be hunting a little bit over bait. So we'll see what we can come up with. Fonzie's got 2 stands we got to put out. Just went and checked out a couple spots for him, so he's going to put up a couple stands, and after that we're going to go bait my spots, but we'll see what happens. We'll just got here, so just trying to get everything set up. And tomorrow will probably end up doing more of the hunting tomorrow than anything, so we'll have fun. Huh? Well, it's day 2 of our hunt, but it's October 3rd. We spent all yesterday driving up, about 7 hours up here in the Upper Peninsula, and we're coming to find out that there's a bunch of food still on the ground. Between the crop fields, the apple trees, everything else, it's just hard to really pinpoint them out on public land when private land's got a lot of food, which no problem, it's just time of the year thing. So something that we're learning, but we decided that we're basically just gonna hunt does for the rest of the week. There's some does available, there's some does on public. Basically just hunt does for the rest of the week. I got one more camera I gotta check to see if there's anything on it. But from what it's looking like right now, everything's up by the farm fields. So we'll see what happens. We set this spot up yesterday. It's a known spot that I've hunted before with does in it, and jumped a doe out of it yesterday. So they're in there now. It's just a matter of getting there. So I'm gonna get out there, get set up, running a touch late. Tried to find the parking lot. Parking lot's more of a parking spot, and it barely fits the truck. But we'll see. We'll get out there. Hopefully everything goes well. If all else fails, it's at least a week not at work. So. Later on the day, we went to go check a camera and ended up seeing this fork horn, and the only thing on the camera was this little 8-point. So what we've been doing the last 2 days is basically the exact same thing as what we'd be doing if I was in a bow fishing tournament. Is I'm scouting for a tournament, I'm moving, I'm cruising. I had 2 cameras that I set up way in the back of public, but the problem that's happening is the deer ain't way in the back of public because all the food is up in the front. So those 2 cameras were done. Those 2 cameras alone, walking to those 2 cameras alone was 5 miles. Just between those 2 cameras. Probably a little over 5 miles. Not including all the other spots and stuff we checked, we're probably easily, 8 to 10 miles that we put on our boots the last 2 days. So, I mean, just like a fishing tournament, I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to keep going. But just trying to start to get into the realization of stuff is all the deer are up here by the food. So, situation we're running into tonight is last night I ended up skipping the evening hunt. Those are It's our first real night here. We put on probably 6 or 7 miles yesterday. Didn't hunt, and just like I said, lack of sign, things like that. So last night, about a half hour before dark, I started driving around trying to get, some information. And one of the things I got was there's a public land apple tree that direction, and absolutely loaded with apples, but it's in a known doe area, and had an absolute giant doe on it last night all by herself. I mean, really big doe. So that is my game plan right now, is not to come up here and drive this long without out of here, fly. It's a 7-hour drive up here, so not drive this far and not shoot something. We still got a couple days ahead of us, but I'm not on any other deer in any of my other spots. I got a spot that we baited yesterday that we jumped a doe out of, and another doe spot that we got. So I'm going to go back there in the morning. It's usually a lot better in the morning. So I'm going to go back there in the morning, and then I'm going to be here tonight. I got another section of spots I want to check. There's a spot over here that's rolling hills and hardwoods. I'm going to hope and pray that there's an oak tree over there. But, yeah, it's difficult right now, food being everywhere. So, and the thing is, with the food being everywhere, the deer it's not like downstate where it's like, here's a field. This is your food source. This is your bedding. No, we're on 4,000 acres probably, and they're just sporadic. We're searching for one set area that says, yeah, there's deer here, we need to hunt here. And they're basically sporadic based off of whatever they're feeding on at that time. So, learning a little bit. Learning a lot, actually. So, less food means they like the bait piles more. In a good deer area, kind of don't want to fully hunt over bait, but in a good deer area, and hopefully it works out. But we still got a couple more days grinding out. We're camping. It's like 75 today, and then the next 2 days supposed to be like 60 something, and then into the 50s. So it's gonna get nice and cold. But we're gonna grind it out. Like I said, I've done all the walking I could do for the most part. Just trying to figure stuff out. So I just put my nose to the ground, and we covered miles, and the miles taught us that the deer up front. From the camera's point of view, she looks like she's broadside right out in the open. However, I had a little bit of brush blocking my way from her vitals. Unfortunately, throughout the night, the wind ended up switching, and she ended up catching my wind, blowing, and running away. Right after she left, this little spike came through. Up in the UP, there's a 3-point on one side, antler point restriction, so no matter what, he wasn't legal even if I wanted to. So when this came out, this was Tuesday, was our last day up there. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it was all showing rain. With up there not really producing right now, with how much time and effort we put in, we decided to actually go home. Kind of sucks driving up there that long. But it's just one of the things of just trying to be productive with our time, and with everything going on, with that weather coming in, we figured the deer movement would be next to nothing at that point. So we made the decision to come back home to where it wasn't storming. Do plan on going back up there late season, just because of the fact of, so last year when we were up there, I found these sheds in a pretty good thick spot. Figured this is where they were staying late season. And then this year, when I was up there, found this guy too. So know where they're staying at late season, know where they go to after the rut happens to winter. that's why we're hoping that if we go back up there in December, we're going to be able to have good luck. So probably before Christmas is our next time going to be up there. I might be able to make it up there for a little bit of muzzleloader season to kind of scout a little bit, but we think late season is going to be a lot more productive for us. So we made the decision to come home, and we're going to head right back up in December.
Well, it's October 6th. Just got climbed up. Having a pretty heavy west wind. There's a touch of a southwest, but I think it's going to be off just enough. I'm in the corner of the hayfield right now, but it's kind of just as much of an observation sit. I can see back there, and I can see across from me. So it's going to be just as much of an observation sit. Haven't really stepped foot on this property. This is the property the landowner wants me to shoot the does out of, the big hayfield. So I haven't really stepped foot on this property all year. Been working a bunch, but I've been hunting it for 5-6 years now, and kind of knowing what's going on. This is usually a pretty decent spot for early season. Had some success here early season, so let's see what happens. One does come out. She is a little windy, so I'm really gonna have to have a pretty good shot selection right here. It's October 7th. I'm out here on an evening hunt. I'm hoping you can hear me. I got 3 deer at 50 yards behind me, eating on the beans. I didn't know that they were going to be here, obviously. Hunted yesterday, sat on the other half of the field way over there, seen about 5 deer come in. They all came in at different spots, but they all left the field at the same spot. They're using this trail right here to come out here to go over to the neighbors. There's a big rub over here too. I just seen that. There's a couple scrapes behind me. So hopefully I can get something big coming through. Buck or doe, I'd like to shoot something. Surprising as it sounds, I'm about to be out of meat in the freezer. We've went through a lot of venison this year. Alright. I'm gonna get everything else ready and get sat down. Get situated. Should be a pretty good sit if they're already on their feet. It's 4:30.
switch trees, because if I switch trees, I'm only gaining 5 yards. And at that point, I might be climbing down and a deer might be coming in at that point. This wind's gotten pretty bad. Seen 3 out in the field. I had 3 come through. That Doan Fawn, and then I had another one sneak through. I can't see them until they're at like 30 yards, and with this wind, this wind would have to be pretty died down for me to shoot that far. I got another Doan Fawn out here in front of me, about 150 yards. The one in front of me is actually a pretty big doe. I don't know, it's almost 7 o'clock, so it's almost prime time, but not really expecting too much tonight. Came over to look for blood. Look across the field. There's a knock. Get some flash on for you guys. Good doe. Caught her pulling out, or quartering away. So, yeah, I must have came back and hit her on that offside shoulder. Let's get her out here and do a little videoing. It's a good mature doe. Definitely exactly what I was looking for out here. Trying to take a tiger deer. It's kind of funny. So, seeing all them deer, I'm not thinking nothing's gonna come in. Look down randomly, and here comes 4 of them. First one that came through, I thought it was going to come through on my outside half, so when it finally came through, I rushed that one. I'm going to fully admit that one. I didn't know that this one was actually coming with him too, so I had to try to stop her a little bit, and she ended up stopping, but there she is. Ended up hitting her pretty good, kind of quartering away, but I think it quartered up and might have actually clipped the heart a little bit, so I don't know. It's October 7th, and I'm finally on the board. Usually don't take this long, but I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Gonna get this to good use. We're starting to run a little bit low on venison, so definitely gonna help out a bunch. But I guess we'll end this episode and see what happens next week. So hopefully episode 2 comes up and we can get another one of these.